Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, take a look at the headlines first. Commerce and Industry Minister raised concern over adverse impact of e-commerce on economy in long term. Union Finance Minister chairs review meeting of the regional rural banks. Unit 4 of indigenous 700 megawatt electric Kakrapar nuclear power plant starts working at full capacity. India in touch with US for extradition of 2611 plotter. Indian researchers developed 4D printed artificial blood vessels for advanced medical grafts. ICAR develops a miniature plant genome editing tool, ISTRA2T-MPV. Today we delve into a topic that's shaping the future of how we shop, work and live: e-commerce. The Commerce and Industry Minister has raised concerns about its long-term impact on our economy, despite the positive short-term gains highlighted in the newly launched report. The Commerce and Industry Minister today launched a report titled Net Impact of E-commerce on Employment and Consumer Welfare in India, which presents a generally positive view of the e-commerce sector. However, alongside the optimism, the minister raised a flag of caution about the long-term effects of this revolution. E-commerce, defined as the buying or selling of goods and services over a digital network, has undeniably transformed the Indian economy. In terms of the positive impacts, the report reveals that e-commerce, which made up 7.8% of total retail sales in 2022, is growing at a rapid compound annual growth rate of 27% between 2018 and 2030. It has brought immense consumer welfare gains, offering convenience, cost-effectiveness, and even increased employment opportunities, particularly for women. But as we surf the wave, there are storm clouds on the horizon. The minister highlighted several adverse impacts that could undermine the economy in the long run. One major concern is predatory pricing, where e-commerce platforms with their deep discounts may eliminate competitors and dominate the market. This could lead to reduced competition and, paradoxically, fewer benefits for consumers in the long run. Another issue is the reduction of consumer choices. As local shops close due to the pressure from online giants, consumers may find themselves with fewer shopping options or higher travel costs if they choose to avoid online shopping. There's also the alarming potential for job losses in the traditional retail sector as e-commerce firms gain market share. Furthermore, the minister pointed out privacy concerns, where misuse of consumer data and breaches of law pose serious risks to both consumers and the economy. For example, certain e-commerce platforms engaging in direct-to-consumer sales despite restrictions. Wrapping up, few regulations of e-commerce in India include the Consumer Protection E-commerce Rules 2020 mandates and Consumer Protection Act 2019.
Next, we are diving into the recent developments surrounding the regional rural banks as the Union Finance Minister chaired a significant review meeting. The focus of this meeting was on enhancing the business performance of RRBs, upgrading their digital technology services, and tapping into the business growth potential within MSME clusters. To provide some context, let's take a closer look at what RRBs are all about. Regional rural banks were established under the RRB Act of 1987, following the recommendations of the Narsimham Working Group in 1975. The primary aim of RRBs is to provide banking and credit facilities specifically targeted at agriculture and other rural sectors. Currently, there are 43 RRBs operating across India. These banks are jointly owned by the Government of India, state governments, and sponsoring commercial banks with ownership stakes of 50%, 15%, and 35% respectively. Despite being created primarily for rural areas, RRBs are allowed to set up branches in urban areas. Now, while RRBs play a crucial role in supporting rural economies, they are not without their challenges. One of the key issues is the lack of coordination in branch expansion, which has led to an inequitable distribution of banking services. Additionally, there are difficulties in deposit mobilization, largely due to practical exclusion of richer rural population. Another significant challenge is related to human resources. RRBs often face a high attrition rate as employees tend to seek more attractive job opportunities, particularly in urban areas. This in turn affects the quality of services provided by RRBs. Moreover, loans offered by commercial banks are often more attractive due to their lower interest rates, especially for weaker sections of the population. Regional rural banks also play a crucial role in ensuring socio-economic justice by promoting financial inclusion, particularly for weaker sections of society through priority sector lending. They contribute significantly to rural and agricultural development by offering essential banking services in underserved areas. Additionally, RRBs provide digital banking facilities which enhance the accessibility of financial services in rural regions. The presence of RRBs generates employment opportunities both directly through their operations and indirectly by supporting rural economies. They also help expand the reach of government services, such as facilitating the payment of wages under the Manrega scheme. Moreover, RRBs play a vital role in mobilization of savings in rural areas, further strengthening the economic fabric of the nation. During the review meeting, several key suggestions were made to address these challenges. One of the main recommendations was to focus on structural consolidation to improve the efficiency of RRBs. Additionally, there was an emphasis on the need of recapitalization to augment the capital of these banks. This is crucial to ensure that RRBs have the necessary resources to operate effectively and support their target sectors. Furthermore, there was a call for periodic review and capacity building of human resources. This would help in retaining talent and improving the overall functioning of RRBs. Upgrading digital technology services was also highlighted as a critical area that needs attention, particularly in the context of tapping into the business growth potential in MSME clusters. In conclusion, the recent review meeting chaired by the Union Finance Minister marks an important step in addressing the challenges faced by regional rural banks.
Next, we delve into a prominent development in India's nuclear energy sector. Unit 4 of the indigenous Kakrapar nuclear power plant, or KAPP-4 in Gujarat, has successfully begun operating at full capacity. This marks a major milestone for India's nuclear energy program, as KAPP-4 is a 700 megawatt electric pressurized heavy water reactor, or PHWR. It uses natural uranium as fuel and heavy water as a moderator. In 2023, it achieved its first criticality, a crucial point where each nuclear fission event produces enough neutrons to sustain a continuous chain reaction. The 700 megawatt electric PHWR units have been specially designed to address the issue of excess thermal margins, ensuring the reactor operates safely below its maximum temperature limits. This is part of India's broader nuclear strategy, with 14 more such units expected to come online progressively by 2031-32. Notably, thermal margin refers to the extent to which the operating temperature of the reactor is below its maximum operating temperature. KAPP-4 also incorporates several enhanced safety measures. It includes thin-walled pressure tubes that can reduce the severity of an accidental rupture. Additionally, it has a passive decay heat removal system that can cool the reactor core without human intervention, an innovation aligned with technologies used in Generation 3+ nuclear plants to prevent incidents similar to the Fukushima disaster in Japan. Furthermore, the reactor is equipped with a steel-lined containment structure and a containment spray system designed to minimize leakages and reduce pressure in the event of a loss of coolant accident, further bolstering the plant's safety profile. Wrapping up, India's nuclear power program envisioned by Homi Bhabha is structured in 3 stages to align with the country's limited uranium resources. Stage 1 focuses on heavy water reactors fueled by natural uranium, which produce plutonium as a byproduct. This stage is expected to generate 10 gigawatt electric of power over 40 years at an 80% capacity factor and sets the foundation for the subsequent stages. In stage 2, plutonium from the first stage is used to fuel fast breeder reactors, which can produce 500 gigawatt electric over 100 years. These reactors are initially fueled by a mix of plutonium and natural uranium, with thorium introduced later to convert into U-233, setting the stage for the final phase. Stage 3 involves U-233 fueled reactors, which utilize a mix of thorium and uranium. This stage is anticipated to generate 500 gigawatt electric over 350 years, harnessing thorium's potential by transmuting it into U-233 to sustain the reactors. This multi-stage approach not only optimizes the use of India's uranium and thorium reserves, but also aims to create a sustainable and long-term energy solution for the country.
Ahead, let's discuss an important update on India's ongoing efforts to bring one of the key plotters of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks to justice. India is in close communication with the United States, seeking the extradition of this individual. Now you may wonder, what exactly is extradition? According to the Supreme Court of India, extradition is the formal process by which one state surrenders a person accused or convicted of a crime to another state where that person is wanted for trial or to serve a sentence. Let's delve into how extradition works in India. The process is governed by the Extradition Act of 1962, which was significantly amended in 1993. This act lays down the legal framework for the extradition of criminal fugitives from India to foreign states. It is the Ministry of External Affairs that oversees the administration of this law. In cases where extradition is sought, the final decision rests with the Government of India. However, this decision can be challenged in higher courts, ensuring that all legal avenues are explored. On the global stage, there are several treaties and conventions that facilitate extradition between countries. The United Nations Model Treaty on Extradition, adopted in the year 1990, and the UN Model Law on Extradition from 2004 provide comprehensive guidelines for nations. Additionally, the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime, established in 2000, includes provisions that address extradition for crimes linked to organized criminal activities. To ensure fairness and justice, extradition operates under certain key principles. First, extradition can only be applied to offences specifically listed in bilateral treaties between the countries involved. This ensures clarity on what constitutes an extraditable offence. Next, there is the principle of dual criminality. This means that the crime for which extradition is requested must be recognized as an offence in both the requesting and requested countries. This principle ensures that the legal standards are consistent across the borders. Lastly, there is the rule of speciality. This rule mandates that an extradited person can only be prosecuted for the specific offence for which extradition was requested. Moreover, the individual must be given a fair trial in the requesting country. In conclusion, the extradition process is a crucial tool in ensuring that justice is served even across international borders. India's efforts to extradite the 2611 plotter underscores the nation's commitment to holding those responsible for heinous crimes accountable, no matter where they may be.
In a groundbreaking development, Indian researchers have created 4D printed artificial blood vessels, marking a significant advancement in medical grafting. This innovation has the potential to revolutionize how we treat cardiovascular diseases, enabling the creation of blood vessels that can dynamically respond to the body's needs over time. But what exactly is 4D printing? Evolving from 3D printing, 4D printing adds the dimension of time, allowing objects to change shape or function in response to environmental stimuli like heat, light, or moisture. While 3D printing constructs three-dimensional objects layer by layer, 4D printing takes it further by introducing adaptive structures that can evolve post-production. The potential applications of 4D printing are vast. In the medical field, it can be used for drug delivery, tissue fabrication, and even organ regeneration. Its flexibility and deformability make it ideal for soft robotics, while in aerospace, it enables the production of low-cost, durable parts that can withstand extreme conditions. For example, nitinol alloy manufacturing. Beyond these, 4D printing is also being explored in fields such as sensor technology, flexible electronics, and even active origami art. In terms of its advantages, it offers dynamic functionality by creating adaptive structures beyond the capabilities of traditional 3D printing. Additionally, it has material efficiency by reducing wastages. Lastly, it has a complex design fabrication. The stereolithography 4D technique fabricates complex designs efficiently. Despite these promising developments, 4D printing still faces prominent challenges. The technology is currently limited to a few research institutes worldwide, and there are material limitations, such as degradation issues under continuous deformation. However, as material innovation progresses, the potential of 4D printing to transform industries and enhance material efficiency is enormous. In summary, the development of 4D printed artificial blood vessels by Indian researchers is a testament to the future of medical innovation.
Next, we are diving into a groundbreaking development in the field of plant science, courtesy of the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. They've introduced a miniature genome editing tool called ISDRA2TNPB, a significant step forward in precision agriculture. Let's start with a quick overview of genome editing. You may have heard about CRISPR, a revolutionary technology that allows scientists to make precise changes in the DNA of plants, animals, and even humans. But as powerful as CRISPR is, it has its limitations, particularly due to the size of the commonly used proteins Cas9 and Cas12. These proteins, made up of about 1,000 to 1350 amino acids are often too large to be effectively delivered inside cells, especially when using viral vectors. Moreover, TNPB proteins are considered the evolutionary ancestors of Cas12 nucleases and consist of only around 350 to 500 amino acids. This is where ICAR's innovation comes into play. The new tool is derived from a bacterium known as Deinococcus radiodurans, famous for surviving extreme environmental conditions. This genome editing tool belongs to the family of transposons or jumping genes that have the remarkable ability to move within the genome, targeting specific DNA sequences with the help of RNA. One of the most exciting aspects of this new tool is its efficiency. Unlike Cas9, which struggles to target certain regions of the genome, TNPB proteins, which are much smaller in size, can access these challenging areas. This opens up new possibilities for editing unique regions in plant genomes that were previously out of reach. Moreover, this new tool can facilitate the creation of fusion proteins. These are chimeric proteins formed by combining two or more genes that originally coded for separate proteins. This capability broadens the scope of genome engineering, making it more versatile for various applications. To add to its credentials, this tool has been tested on both monocots like rice and dicots such as Arabidopsis. In conclusion, ICAR's development of this new tool marks a significant leap in the field of plant genome editing. Today's place in the news brings us to Kamchatka Peninsula. Recently, powerful earthquake in Russia's far east triggered Shivluch volcano in Kamchatka Peninsula. Let's dive into its political features. It is part of the far eastern federal district of Russian Federation. Kuril Archipelago extends from the southern tip of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula to the northeastern coast of Japan's Hokkaido Island. Kuril Island is disputed between Russia and Japan. Geographically, it lies between the Sea of Okhotsk on the west and Pacific Ocean in Bering Sea on the east. Its major mountain ranges are Stredny and Voschcheny. Major river there is Kamchatka River. It has mostly tundra climate. Koryak, Chukchi and Kamchadal are some major tribes residing there.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Association for Democratic Reforms released report on sitting MPs and MLAs for declared cases regarding crimes against women 2024. As per the report, overall, 151 MPs and MLAs have such charges, with one-third from the ruling party at the centre. Ukraine Parliament votes in favour of joining the International Criminal Court. It is an independent judicial body. It may exercise jurisdiction over persons charged with genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crimes of aggression. RBI Governor is rated A+ for the second time in a row in Global Finance Central Banker Report Cards 2024. Published annually by the US-based Global Finance since 1994, it grades central bank governors of nearly 100 countries. Waterspout was reported near the coast of Sicily. A waterspout is a column of cloud-filled wind rotating over a water body. Despite its name, it is not filled with water from the ocean or lake. Instead, it descends from a cumulus cloud. The water inside it is formed by condensation in the cloud. Recently, the EU Nature Restoration Law came into force. It is EU's first continent-wide legislation for nature restoration. It aims to restore 20% of degraded ecosystems by 2030 and all by 2050. It requires member states to prepare national restoration plans by 1 September 2026. The Alpha Particle X-ray Spectrometer instrument on Pragyan rover of Chandrayaan-3 provided evidence supporting the lunar magma ocean hypothesis. The LMO hypothesis is regarding to the early evolution of the moon. It states that the moon was a molten ocean of magma on formation. Terahertz Waves has recommended establishing terahertz experimental authorization to develop innovative new technologies and services in the terahertz band. THC radiation generally refers to electromagnetic waves, which lies between the microwave and infrared regions of the spectrum. Leonard Hayflick passed away recently. He introduced the Hayflick limit that fundamentally changed the understanding of aging. It is the number of times a cell population can divide until it attains a cell cycle arrest. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version, remember to visit the links in the description below.